Hi everybody, it's Laura. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Today I have a layout that I made using the February 2024 My Creative Scrapbook Limited Edition kit. For this layout, I'm going to use some pattern paper to make a big triangle on my page and then a smaller triangle on my page. And I'm going to do some mixed media in the background. So I cut out the larger triangle. That's going to go in my lower left-hand corner. And then I'm going to have a smaller triangle in the upper right-hand corner. And I'm going to have my photo, not this photo, I'm going to end up changing it for a different one, on the larger triangle. So without getting too technical, because it's been a long time since I took a geometry class, the reason that I'm measuring is because I want the triangles to be, I think they're right triangles. Two of the sides are the same length, and then the corner is 90 degrees. I hope I remember that correctly. And for the bottom triangle, I measured 9 inches to the right and then 9 inches up. And then I did the same thing for the smaller triangle, but instead I measured 5 inches along the two sides. So I drew lines so that I would know where the edges of the triangles are going to be. That just helps me to know where to put the paint for my mixed media background. And when I draw the pencil lines, I don't draw them right at the edge. I draw them a little further back so that when I put the triangle on top, the pencil line is fully covered, because I find that once mixed media is covering a pencil line, it's very difficult to get rid of that. So I always try to be careful about that. And now I'm adding some sprays to the background. So I have a piece of smooth white cardstock. I covered it with some Liquitex gesso. I use a heavyweight paper. It's 120-pound paper, which is pretty thick. And then I added some Lindy's Starburst sprays. And the reason that I put some on the area that I know will be covered up is because I just wanted to see what the color was going to look like before I spread it all around the page. I used 2 different colors on this layout. I used the Lindy's Wild Honeysuckle Coral and also Saltwater Taffy. The Saltwater Taffy is a little bit more pink, and then the Wild Honeysuckle Coral, that is also pink, but it has a slight peachy cast to it. So I thought that by combining those 2 colors, I would get an interesting background. After the first application of color, I used my heat tool and I dried the whole background. And then once it was dry, I went in with some more sprays, and this helps to build up the color. It makes it look a little darker, and you don't really have to add numerous layers of color. It all depends on what kind of effect you're trying to achieve in the background. One of the things I really like about using gesso in the background, and I'm sorry if you've heard this before, but I find that it's so much easier to correct mistakes when there's gesso. It's very easy to remove color, but if you don't add gesso, the color gets directly absorbed into the paper. But with gesso, there's a barrier, so the color can be changed, it could be removed, it could be added to. I also think that for the most part, the colors look more intense when you add gesso. Now you have to layer them on top of each other, but if there's no gesso, the paper just soaks in the color, and I find I use so much more of my sprays when I don't use gesso. Not that I don't use it almost every time, but there have been a few times where I've tried not using gesso because some people really don't like it. So I wanted to try both ways out, but I guess I've just gotten used to what the sprays will do when there is gesso. So I'm definitely a gesso fan. I am always going to add that to my backgrounds unless I'm using watercolor paper. Every now and then I'll use watercolor paper either for the entire background or just for die cuts, and I find that that's a really cool choice too. But if I'm going to use smooth cardstock, I'm definitely going to use gesso. So there was something about this layout that I just kept fussing with the area between the 2 areas of color. I kept adding color, and then later on I added a lot of gesso to cover up some of it. I just couldn't get it exactly the way I wanted it until the very, very end. Here I'm splattering some water on the background, and with most sprays, this enables you to soak up the water, and then there are little spots where the color has been lifted off, and I think that's a really cool effect. I love using that effect. And then after the background dried, I added some splatters to the background, another effect that I really like. Here you could see that I'm repeating the water droplet technique several times. Each time that I add water, more droplets of water get picked up, and the background, I think, just becomes more and more interesting. I use a paper towel to soak up some of the water on the background. And now I'm adding even more splatters. And I think that the combination of lightening up a few areas and then adding the darker dots with the splatters just makes the background look like there are a lot of different values of the color. And I just think that it's a cool look. Next, I'm going to add some stenciling to the background. I have the stencil from the kit, and I'm also using some Master's Touch modeling paste and some acrylic paint. This is a heavy body white acrylic paint. I mix the two together, and then I begin spreading the modeling paste paint combination on the lower side of the layout. And I like this stencil because it has two different size dots. It also has some triangles and some lines. So it's a nice stencil to have if you don't have a whole lot of stencils in your collection. I'm mainly concentrating on using the dots, and I'm using the smaller dots. There are also some larger ones. And I love the way adding modeling paste makes a really cool texture on the background. I think that's my favorite thing about it. But it also adds some areas of white if you use white modeling paste, which is another way to add more interest to the layout. Of course, you don't have to leave the modeling paste white. You could add some sprays to them, or you could also add some regular acrylic paint to them, and you can change the color of them. So I tried the modeling paste I already had on the background, and I was thinking that I wanted to add some variety of dots to the background. I didn't want to add bigger dots, so I decided to pull out one of the stencils from my stash. This is a Tim Holtz stencil. I believe it's called Dot Fade. This is one of my most used stencils. I think that these smaller dots were a really good complement to the slightly larger ones that I made with the stencil from the kit. And I kind of forgot how I went through a period where I was using more than one stencil on a background. Not that that's something that has to be a trend or something that's a fad, but I was doing that quite a bit for a while. And I think that that's something that I want to remember, because you can always use more than one stencil to create different effects on the background. Now I'm using a little tiny flower stamp, and I'm adding some flowers to the area where I have the mixed media. I used some StazOn ink in jet black, but immediately I did not like them. Maybe if I continued stamping, I would have ended up liking the stamping, but I decided that I was happy with the way the background looked, and not every layout has to have stamping. So I used a little bit of Liquitex Gesso, and I covered up those flowers that I made. And then I added some splatters. I'm using some watered down white acrylic paint to add lots and lots of splatters to the background. I kind of feel like you can't really overdo white splatters. I'm sure at some point you can, but I don't think I've ever reached that point. I love lots and lots of white splatters. Now I'm adding some black splatters. Now I added lots of white ones, but I'm only adding a few black splatters because the colors I'm going to use on this background do include black, but I love the freshness of the pink, and I don't want to add too much black. So I just add a couple of little splatters, and I really think that those black splatters make the layout come together. Even though there's only a few of them, I think that they are a nice touch, and they help to tie the background together with the other elements on the page. Okay, I don't want to say my mixed media background is complete, because I end up doing a lot more work on it, and it really doesn't look that different in the end, but I just kind of got a little fussy with it. Sometimes in the moment I get a little carried away with the mixed media backgrounds, and I want it to look a certain way, and I keep trying and trying until I get it. And sometimes it's really worth it, and sometimes, like in this video, I don't know that it made a big impact, but overall I was happy with the layout in the end, so I guess that's what I should be happy about. So I have my big triangle on the bottom, and I added a strip that I punched out using a paper punch, and I placed that behind the triangle, and then I'm doing the same thing to the smaller triangle, just to have some definition between the triangle and the background. And now I'm looking at the time, and I'm realizing it's almost 10 minutes into the video, and I haven't even added a photo or a single embellishment, but I'm going to get going on that right now. So I love this pattern paper. Isn't this so pretty with the black background and all the beautiful flowers on that? I wanted to use that for the mat for my photo. And I'm going to attach that piece of pattern paper down to this piece of cardboard. So before I attach it down, I ink the edges with some black soot. ink, and that way the edges will be black, just in case you can see them when you look at the layout. You probably can't see them too well, but just in case. And then I finally selected a photo of both of my daughters from a while back when my older daughter was away at college and we went to visit her in the winter. Well, I am not good with cold temperatures. It's not that I don't like the cold, it's that my body doesn't like the cold. I must have very poor circulation, so I try to stay warm all winter. It's a little easier where I live in New York. Not that it's warm by any means, but my daughter went to school in Rochester, New York, which is much further north and closer to Canada. So we would always go to visit her, and we would go in the winter usually because it had been a while since we had seen her, and I really disliked the weather there. Although when we did go to visit her in nice weather, it's perfectly nice there. I just didn't like the cold. She had no problem with it though. She really loved going to school there, and she really never complained about the cold. One time they actually canceled classes because there was some kind of crazy super low temperatures that were just so low that nobody's cars would start, and they ended up just canceling classes for a day there. Even though they're used to cold temperatures, it was especially cold from what I understand. I was still happy to see her, and it was still worth going there, but I was definitely feeling cold while I was there. So getting back to the layout, I combined two stickers to make my title. I have a small sentiment that says together, and I combined it with that longer script always to make together always, and I also added a little heart sticker to that. Now I'm adding a whole bunch of embellishments to the layout. I added the embellishments kind of going along the edge of the photo on the side with the bigger triangle, and then for the smaller triangle I made kind of a big cluster in the center of that small triangle. I also added another cluster in the lower left hand corner, and I used some of the really pretty dimensional flowers that come in the kit. I also used those same flowers in the cluster that I made on that smaller triangle. And I layered the dimensional flowers on top of the paper embellishments. A lot of the flowers that you see on the layout, those were fussy cut out, and some of the butterflies were fussy cut out too. And I forgot to mention that the collection that was featured in this kit was the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Love Story collection. I think this is a really gorgeous collection. I absolutely love all the flowers and butterflies. So I wanted to add something more to the layout. I thought that in the lower right hand corner I could use something. So I decided to add just two rather small banners. I cut one out of a yellowish paper and then the other one out of a blue paper that has a lot of florals on it. I inked the edges again with the black soot, and then I slightly layered the blue banner on top of the yellow banner. And I like the way the banners give that big cascade of embellishments a stopping place. But now I'm doing what I love to do to butterfly embellishments. I'm adding some foam just to their wings. And then when you put some adhesive on the center and you press down on the center, the wings pop up a little bit because of the dimension on the wings. And I always love the way that that looks. And then another one of my favorite embellishments is photo corners. So I use a punch and I punch out some photo corners from some yellowish paper. And then I ink the edges and I attach all of them down. And even though you can't see it at all, I put a photo corner in the lower left-hand corner where those flowers are. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's going to show up or not. So since I have to punch them out two at a time, I figured I would just put that fourth one on there. And I guess I didn't attach down all the butterflies, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm adding some adhesive to them. And that butterfly on the bottom on top of that yellow banner, that butterfly gave me a lot of trouble. I wasn't sure where to put it. I kept rearranging it, and in the end, I'll end up switching it out for a different butterfly. I just didn't like the way it was almost the same size as the heart that's there. The heart is clearly smaller, but just that combination didn't work for me. So I ended up not only switching the butterfly for a larger butterfly, I moved the butterfly out to the edge of the banner. And then I used some gel glue to glue down the dimensional flowers. So I was thinking that although I liked the way the banners looked as an ending point for all of those embellishments that are kind of curving around the photo, I felt like it stopped too abruptly there. So I decided to add a flower, and not only a flower, but a little branch that has some smaller flowers on it right underneath the yellow banner. And now I'm adding some pearls. These are strips of adhesive pearls to each of the butterflies on the page. So I usually buy these strips of self-adhesive pearls from the Eyelet outlet, but Hobby Lobby had a clearance event last year, and I got a whole bunch of pearls in strips for probably 75% off, and so I picked those up because I do use them quite frequently. So now you can see my good old Sizzix Big Shot to the right of my mat. I used it to cut out a whole bunch of these little floral embellishments. And if you've been following my channel, you know that I love to use these to add finishing touches to floral clusters. I just think that without them, the clusters don't look the same. They look a little clunky, and these help to make them look a little lighter and a little bit more, I think, like a floral arrangement. And you can also see my orange soda. I don't drink orange soda anymore, but I do still love my Sizzix Big Shot. The only two machines I personally think that I need for die cutting are my Sizzix Big Shot and my little desktop die cutting machine. I love that little mini one. I use that all the time too. So I glued down all of those little white branches, and now I'm using some heavy gesso and a paintbrush, and I'm dabbing the gesso onto the pink flowers. The white flowers you won't be able to see the gesso on, but the pink flowers will get some nice highlights from having the gesso. Next, I add a little shine to the flowers with some Opal glitter medium. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I got a big tub of it very inexpensively. It was on sale. That's what made me try it out. I thought, let me take a look and see what I could do with this. I have found recently, though, that there's another product that's very similar that I like. It's from the Crafters Workshop. It's called Opalescent Stardust Butter, and it's very similar. There are a lot of very similar products out there that you could use for the same effect. So there's shine, and there's also some glitter built in. So now I'm going to do something that I don't think I've done many times, but I'm looking at the layout and I'm pretty happy with the results of this. So I took some gel medium, and then I took some really, really teeny tiny little globes, or spheres, I guess you could call them, and they're called prills. And I mix the two together with my paintbrush, and then I begin spreading them on top of the flower. And they just add such a cool little texture to the flower. I'm not really sure why. I only did it for a short period of time because I really like it. So I not only added the prills to the pink flowers, although I started off with them just on the pink flowers, but I added them to the white flowers as well. And in addition to the prills, I also added in a couple of very small pearls. They're much bigger than the prills, but they're small for pearls, and I like that combination. So I don't include most of the footage. I wanted a little bit more color. I wanted you to be able to see the pink all along the edge of that large cluster. So I added some color, and then I went back and I took it away with gesso, and I kept going back and forth until it looked like this. It just seemed like nothing was making me happy, and it just went on and on and on. So in the end, I did get some color all along the edge of that cluster. Well, thank you very, very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really love this Simple Stories collection. I think that it's so beautiful. And I had a lot of fun working with it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I still have a couple more older videos to share with you, and then I'll be getting to my newer videos. So thank you once again for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.